Welcome back to the best Dominion cards list. We're starting part 6 now with the cards costing 3. Starting with ranks 49 up to rank 40. So this is a 5-part list from part 6 to part 10. We got at least 44 votes for Empires cards and around 59 votes for the rest. We started this list in the first edition with 26 cards, and now we are up to 49. This means nearly double as many as in the first list. Again, we have new cards. There are 5 new cards and 1 event new from Empires in this list. And so far, every time Ambassador was first, except one time 2 years ago where Masquerade was first. Let's see who wins this time. Probably again Ambassador or Masquerade, maybe one of the new cards, but probably again Ambassador or Masquerade. Let's see which of those wins this time. So let's get right started. Rank 49, Chancellor. Chancellor stays last since nearly the beginning. It even lost points and its deviation is the lowest of this whole list, so there's no doubt. It was voted last 23 times. Yeah, the cases where you want the Chancellor to accelerate your shuffles are very rare. I think the most usual case I got is opening Chancellor Potion when you want a familiar, because the upside when you see your potion and your familiars more often is really good, can win you the curse split, and you can really afford a terminal because familiar is non-terminal. Also, and with potion cards in general, it's really nice. But in other cases, you really only want the Chancellor if you have really enough actions, like the Fishing Village, for example. You can open with Chancellor. But these cases are really rare. It doesn't even work with Tunnel, so yeah. This means this card is very rarely useful. Rank 48, Great Hall. Great Hall lost ranks every year in the past, but stayed second to last this time. It's still lost quite a lot in its average and has quite a low deviation. It was voted last 9 times. Yeah, I forgot to mention, Chancellor got removed in the second edition, and so did Great Hall. Because it's just not really useful most of the times. You only pick it up in the endgame when you don't hit Duchy, then a Great Hall that doesn't hurt your an estate that doesn't hurt your deck. Of course you will get. Also maybe in the mid game when you don't want silvers anymore, of course you might want to prefer a Great Hall because it doesn't hurt you in the deck, at least in engines. And it's one point that might win you the game in the end game, but it rarely matters. Sometimes you can maybe free pile with cost reduction, get a lot of freight halls that don't hurt your deck, and free pile the next turn or something. But yeah, this rarely doesn't matter. The only really case where it's nice is with Ironworks. Ironworks gaining great halls gives you a lot of points, and Ironworks is then a cantrip. But yeah, in most cases it really doesn't make a difference, and it's just not a strong card. Rank 47, Woodcutter. Woodcutter fits into the same scheme, it stays on the same rank, and lost in its average. It was voted last 5 times. Yeah, not a lot to say about Woodcutter. It's got also removed, so all 3 cards that cost 3 that got removed are in the last 3 places. You only really pick it up because of the plus buy, and usually you look for a better plus buy card, but if Woodcutter is the only plus buy card, of course you will get it in an engine. But in all other cases you really prefer silver over Woodcutter because it doesn't cost an action and gives you the same amount of money. So unless of course you need to prefer an action in general over a treasure card, for example with Herald or in Vineyard games or so, then you prefer Woodcutter. But all in all, Woodcutter is just a card you have to pick up if it's the only plus buy. In all other cases you prefer other plus buy sources. And it's just not a very strong card. Rank 46, Fortune Teller. And I can only repeat myself. Fortune Teller stays where it was and lost a bit in its average. It has 7 last ranks. Yeah, Fortune Teller's attack is quite relevant, in the early game at least. If you can trash your estates, then a Fortune Teller just cycles you. This means it might even help you. But it's quite relevant. The problem is though that still it's terminal and you really want stronger terminal cards in your deck. If you can't trash your starting estates, then Fortune Teller might be worth to pick up, but still only if there's no other terminal that you want to play more. So if it's like there are a lot of villagers or a lot of cantrips or so, then a Fortune Teller to add can quite hurt. The problem is, I can only repeat myself again here, it's terminal, and in most cases you want other terminals because the attack is not that strong at all. Rank 45, Masterpiece. Masterpiece is next with a lead of nearly 6 percentage points over Fortune Teller. After losing quite a lot last year, it lost again 1 more rank. It has quite a high deviation for such a low rank card. It was voted last twice. Yeah, in comparison to the new Delve, Masterpiece looks quite bad, because it's only better if you overpay by a lot. It's still quite nice in terminal draw, big money games, and of course with Feardom. But Feardom is already an edge case, and terminal draw, big money, yeah, how often do you really play it? It's not that often. That makes Masterpiece a very rare edge case card that you pick up not that often. Rank 44, Sage. Losing consistently ranks the last years, Sage loses again 2 ranks. It is 3 ranks higher in the unweighted ranking, so newer players overvalue it. It was voted last once. In Sage you want in engines, but the problem in engines is that it's soon just a cantrip, because you trashed your coppers and estates that Sage skips, and then it doesn't do a whole lot for you, and in the end game it's really just a cantrip as well, because it finds even duchies and provinces. So it's really useful to open, for example, with a potion to find your potion more often, or just with a key 4-cost card that you can open with. It acts in similar to opening with Warehouse, just that Warehouse is just way better in the mid and end game, where Sage just doesn't do a whole lot after that, after the early game. It's still quite a decent opener. For example, C-Hex Sage can really, with good shuffles, wreck your opponent. So all in all, Sage is only useful in the first couple of turns. Rank 43, Workshop. After rising 5 ranks last year, Workshop falls back down 3 ranks. In the unweighted ranking it's even 1 more rank lower. It's at least the first card with no vote on the last rank. In comparison to Ironworks, Workshop is just way worse, because usually you gain action cards and then it's not, Ironworks is non-terminal, while Workshop is terminal, and usually you don't have the terminal space in the beginning, because you want Workshop in the beginning to play it often. So it's way weaker than than Ironworks, but still I think it's quite a decent card. There are a lot of cards there which which you want in masses that cost 4 or less, like Caravans, Heralds, and for example Tournament. So I don't get why it lost 3 ranks. I think it was right last year. Not sure why it lost ranks, because I think it's quite a strong card that you want on a couple of boards, especially gaining villages, of course. Any kind of village is quite good. I forgot to mention those. And Workshop gains you those villages, so you can buy the strong 5 cost cards, that mostly is Terminal Draw or the Attack or something. So there are a couple boards where you want a Workshop. I get that's not really a strong card in comparison to the other 3 costs, but I think it should be a little bit higher. Rank 42, Banquet. Here's the first new card in this list. Banquet has a pretty low median compared to its average, and the highest deviation we have seen so far in this list. It was voted last 3 times, and it is 1 rank lower in the unweighted ranking. Yeah, Banquet is way better in comparison to Cash. Cash gains you gold, while Banquet gains you 5 cost cards. So 5 cost cards are mostly better than gold. And it just is, of course, 2 coins weaker. But still, gaining 2 coppers is quite a disadvantage, which you can only do probably if you already have Trash down, because otherwise you're slowing yourself way down. Unless it's maybe the last 5 cost card in a pile and you don't want to lose the split. Then it might be worth it as well. And that you can't gain victory card of it, I think it's well designed, but of course quite a disadvantage because you can't gain duchies with it. And of course I'm looking forward to see using Banquet to gain a cash. So 4 coppers and a gold. Doesn't seem good, but maybe there are cases like in slogs where this is a quite useful thing to do. Rank 41, Trade Route. Trade Route has a small lead over Banquet of 0.04 percentage points. It's the first card which 1 ranks, 3 ranks to be exact. It is 1 rank lower in the unweighted ranking. Yeah, Trade Route is like the weakest treasure for free that you can get. It gives you basically no coin at all, and only just a ruined market that can trash a card. I mean, you still open with it if it's the only treasure, and trashing is really the way to go to build an engine. But it still is very weak, and if it's the only treasure to build an engine, then maybe it's better to not build the engine. It really depends how strong the payload is, of course. And this on Trade Route, picking up Trade Route late in the game when there are victory cards gone, especially if there are alternate victory cards to make it Trade Route like worth 3 or 4. Then you only see it like once or twice maybe the whole game, and then it doesn't make a difference as well. So Trade Route is quite weak in the early game, and even if it's supposedly strong in the end game, then it doesn't matter all that much because you don't see it that often. So yeah, deservedly low ranked in this list. Rank 40, Caravan Guard. Caravan Guard lost 2 ranks, but is 1 rank higher in the unweighted ranking. So Caravan Guard is basically a half a peddler for just 1 coin less. This shows alone that it's not very strong, because if there are no attacks on the board, I mean, you still maybe want it preferred over silver in an engine because it doesn't get in your way. But of course it doesn't change a lot. It gives you half a coin each turn. And yeah, Peddler costs around 4, and this is half a peddler for one coin less. So this is really only making a big difference when there's an attack card on the board. Then it's quite strong, but you still have to trash down, for example, to have guaranteed like 1 or 2 in each hand to make it worth the difference. I've played one game, I remember, where there was Urchin and Mercenary. I trashed down with Urchin and could play like 3 Caravan Guards each turn when my opponent played his Mercenary or his Young Witch. And this was quite strong. But yeah, the use cases where this shines, maybe in scrying pool games as well, where your opponent just guarantees to play an attack card and you want like cantrips in your deck. This might be also be strong, but there are a lot of cases where this just doesn't change a whole lot on the whole board, and it's like never the strongest card on the board where you have to go for it. So this was part 6, the cards costing 3, the low strength cards in this list. Not a whole lot changed here in the bottom 5. There's the first new Empires card. What do you think about that? Do you agree with Trade Route going up and Workshop going down? Leave some comments in the forums or under this video. See you soon. Bye.